You know you're in trouble when you're given a 1% chance to win the match, and sure enough, Hikaru Nakamura only went and put the smack down in this last 16 Speed Chess Championship match. I've got a couple games to bring you here, beautiful attacking ideas, just wait till you see the final checkmate. Hikaru playing black in this first one, online chess of course on chess.com. This is where they get 3 minutes each, plus a second a move. That's known as excrement. And here we see Liem building the Catalan, named after our good friend Alan, the chess playing cat. He was essaying this one all day here. Both players do a quick king safety fist bump, exploded out. Now we see pawn takes. I always find this move so counterintuitive. Why would you open the long diagonal? Well, you're about to see. Now after a6 you could take with the queen, but then you run into b5, quick bishop b7. So we get this one. The last line was playable, but this is a different variation, and the point revealed of black's play, bringing the bishop round like this. That's why you could take. You're ultimately going to challenge this diagonal in one way or another. We now see bishop g5. The knight develops. It's standard stuff. It's speed chess, so we're going for a speed recap. Now we see the pawn dropping in the center and a5 from Hikaru, changing the structure, going for a juicy square. This knight hops forward, the bishop's exchanging, and we got ourselves a roughly level position, but white a smidge better. Control of the center, right? More space to maneuver the pieces. Now we see pawn h4. Why not? It's modern chess. If in doubt, push a rook pawn, feel like an absolute boss. Now we get the rook centralizing, this one dropping back, and it lines up a central thrust. It's on the way here. Bishop b4, and whack bam slam, here comes d5, really exploding Hikaru's meatballs, trying to take advantage of the unprotected queen. So we get takes. Pawn recaptures here, and now this is a beautifully delicious cheesy move. It's rook d6, and it stops everything from collapsing. You know, takes and rook takes, and you're doing fine. Board slightly grayed out. This is analysis mode. Didn't happen. Instead we saw queen b3. Now Hikaru doubles the two towers, takes is played, he takes here. We do now see a compromised pawn structure, so white's standing a bit better. It's a very nice game from Liem. He's bringing the knights around. They're doing damage on these weakened squares. Nice pawn structure for white. Queen exchange offered. Not gone for. Hikaru wants to maintain attacking ideas. Queen d3, and there's no two ways about it. Liem stands better. He's keeping level on the clock here, but the problem when you're playing guys like Hikaru, like Magnus, like Ali Reza, the blitz beasts, is they will always find tricks and fight back. Now this one's a mistake, but let's go a couple further, because this is a big mistake. Liem missed the chance here to simply capture the bishop, and if you take with the c pawn, well, the a pawn drops and you still defend b3. And if instead you take with the a pawn, well, now you've got a running pawn and a supported queen and all that good stuff. It's really bad for black. So a big chance missed. This one was played instead. But now Hikaru can go knight d7. Queen d7. Knight d3 back. And things are changing here. Because after queen b7, headed in arguably the wrong direction, allowing Hikaru to jump and cut this connection, you could be in trouble. And it's exactly what we see. Because the knight hops forward, going for counterplay on f7. Hikaru does this, knight gonna drop, so it comes back to f3, bishop d4, and now you have to play the queen to one of these two squares. You'll see why in just a second. Because Liem goes queen a7, and it allows Hikaru a brilliancy. Can you guess the move he played here? It's knight f4 check. I mean, we've not seen something that shocking since they just announced the brand new interplanetary galactic world chess championship of the entire universe. Magnus was completely in shock. Issued a statement here that he will be playing. What fantastic news there. Organised by Norway Chess and FIDE. We got chess tournaments coming out of our ears. We absolutely love it. Someone get the umbrella. It's raining chess tournaments. And now back to the sacrifice here. Well, if you capture, this is the simple follow-up. It's not really a sacrifice as such, because you instantly win back the piece and you threaten mate, and that's unavoidable. All you can do is run away with the king, but then you get hunted anyway, and this is just game over. You're on the queen. Whoops, didn't draw the arrow. There we go. And then the pawn running, drop a knight. Just one sample line. So in this position, king g1, but now a second brilliancy in a row here. It's bishop takes on f2 check, and we saw lost on time. But anyway, it was leading to mate. You know, this, and this is how you get it done. And it wasn't really avoidable, whatever you did, because if you don't capture, then you step in like this. So Hikaru takes that one in 44 moves. Let's jump to game 15 because he just stretches his lead here. He kept playing this bishop opening. He often dabbles with the Vienna game as well. You know, he likes these solid e4 systems. Nothing too special, nothing too theoretical. Just get a position, and some of the end games he won were unreal. The centre's about to collapse, so pawn d4. Opens up a monster here. Bishop takes, queen recaptures, knight e4, queen moving away. And there's one line I just want to show you here, because the absolute top move is not picking up the bishop, which is a bit stuck behind the pawn, but jumping with this knight. Now if pawn h6 to chase it, can't get my words out, had a late night down the chess club last night, then you can play queen h5. And if takes, this is the point, threatening mate, and if bishop f5, then there's this awesome shot to chase away the bishop from the diagonal. Now it looks like you can do this right, but wrongo. This guy comes good, pawn is pinned. Just one sample attacking line that I really enjoyed there, but this one wasn't played. Castles, knight c6, pawn h3, bishop c7, rook e1. Hikaru's last two moves, given these question marks, but they're so natural. You know, c3 was preferred immediately, but anyway it comes now after this exchange of bishops. Takes, pawn recaptures, rook f to d8, and in any kind of blitz chess I'd be slamming down queen e2, queen c2, something like that on the board. Just looks so natural. Step away from this gaze, but Hikaru plays the outlandish pawn to d4. I mean, who does that when there's a rook lined up plus pieces on the square? Very risky chess, and best was takes, not played. The line goes something like this. There are different options, but here's one, and you can just squeeze this knight back around, cover the center. Pawn does drop, but you do get a little bit of play. Don't take with the queen, by the way. This is a classic hook and ladder tactic. You win the queen. So rook takes is better. Black's a bit better, but fine. Game goes on. There's play for the pawn. Let's run back. We didn't see the best move. We saw queen d5, allowing now takes here, offering a queen exchange. Not played. This is how the game proceeded. Knight into c4. Many options, rich position, but we're sticking with what happened now. This one, and it's really uncomfortable for black. Cut the board in half. There isn't a single defender of the black king. That is never a good sign. Now this is a monster threat. The pawn is pinned. So what do we see? Well, we should have got queen e5, defending and attacking, but bishop e5 was played, and there's just something a little awkward about that. It's a bit like when you accidentally make eye contact with your opponent over the board mid-game. No one wants that. What to do here to punish? Well, the absolute best move is knight f5. You threaten a massive fork on e7. You look at the king, of course. you threaten to then do these kind of tactics. The other knight can be coming to g5. It's just the best move. But Hikaru plays this first. Queen stepping away here. Still knight f5 is best. But Hikaru's seen another tricky idea and he plays it. It's knight into e6. What is that about? Now you've always got to ask the most basic question first. Why can't the pawn just take? You know, this should be a wrong un. Well, this is the point. Check. King goes. So often tactics flow from a weak king, a check, and a loose piece. Let's run back. We didn't see takes. We saw pawn h5, trying to distract the white queen. Now if you take, well, you can take, and then the queen wouldn't be able to take with check. So we see queen e2, hitting this knight in a new way. Now rook takes on d1, rook recaptures, and best queen b5 apparently. But this was played, picking up a pawn that then allows this one to run. But Liem has completely underestimated the danger here. I mean, look at these guys. They're way in Siberia. That spells danger. Don't immediately take this pawn, by the way. You get fossilized like this. So Hikaru sets it up with another brilliant move. Knight 4 to g5, leaving this one hanging, and it is taken. Surprisingly, you know, a player of Liem's caliber, you'd have thought he'd see how bad it is to take that knight. Bishop f6 is best, and the game continues. But this was played. Hikaru takes here. He's threatening to do some check stuff. How do you fight against it? Bishop f6 is now tried, but now we get check. Quick repeat of the moves. Check, king f8, and here's the puzzle time. How do you actually finish it off here? How do you mate? And the answer is not check and here. Then you're actually losing the game. You know, the rook is defended. It's hitting the queen. Meantime, black's got counterplay. King doesn't get mated in this line. It escapes. So don't check. What do? It's rook d7. Knight e6 check was also strong and working. But this actually leads to forced mate, because now you cut the king and you threaten to mate here. How to fight against it? King e8, of course, but Hikaru takes here. The same threats persist, and so we see resigns. Only 5 seconds left on the clock. If you'd have tried queen c5 to try and sidle back, well, then you can check from here, force the king away from that connection with the f8 square. Couldn't have gone there or got mated here, and now you check from here. Queen f8 still comes, but the king's no longer supporting, so you take and you mate. Let's run to the final position. Two brilliant games from Hikaru. Opened a massive lead in the 3+1, let it slip back in the 1 minute 1+1 stuff, but he had the job done at that point. Hope you enjoyed. Smash subscribe if you did, and have a look at the epic video on screen in case you missed the Magnus Speed Chess Championship match played earlier this week. Thanks a lot and see you soon. Cheers.